Oh, baby.
Don't get it, Thunderdome discussion.
Harlan Sanders, don't you think to yourself, Latin sexiness?
I just know that you would dislike it. I'm really just turned on by your discomfort, Berto.
The collection of short stories by Judy Blume.
By Judy Blume. You ever smell the inside of a hat?
I liked it. It smelled like you.
It's a triple bypass of love.
Bad call, but go for it.
Zig and Larry ignore a topic. The best parts of hanging out with these guys. Without the hangover.
Well, there he is.
Hey, what's up, sweetheart?
How we doing, pal?
Oh, you're having the time of my life. How are you?
Just dandy-rific. It's a Happy New Year. It's the New Year episode.
Yay, it's 2021. That means I woke up and everything's fine now, right?
Yes, that's exactly what that means. Welcome to Zig and Larry Ignore a Topic. New theme song. Same old shit.
Did we get it in tonight?
Mm-hmm.
Spectacular.
Yes.
We can't hear it. We don't listen to our own stuff when we gear up for this.
No. I just hit record and we go.
Hooray!
Yeah.
So I was really excited because it's 2021, so everything's fine now. I can go back to completely ignoring the president.
Yes.
And I went on the L train and started licking everything and everyone.
Oh my god, I went out and licked doorknobs too!
Good for you. Well, you've been doing that for years, if we're honest.
I know, but it was really hard in 2020 to slow down. I never stopped completely. I just slowed down on the doorknob licking.
And it looks like we get to pick up right back where we left off pre-pandemic, with Trump desperately trying to blow up Iran before he leaves for some reason.
Well, because why ignore the classics?
I suppose.
I don't know. What I saw today was him on the phone with Georgia Attorney General being like, all I need is 11,000 votes. Just find 11,000 votes. I promise. That's all and then threatening him. And I'm just looking at my phone oh God, of course this is where we are.
I went down, that began a lovely click hole for me today, after I refused to get out of bed for quite a while. I've been off work, I took a bunch of time off at the end of the year because I had it.
Yeah.
I worked a half day in the last 12. So, today's my last day before I have to go back to 9 to 5, and I refused to get out of bed. I'm not doing anything. So I went down a click hole that started with Trump's ramblings and ended with, and I know I'm late to the party. I'm so late because I ignore pop culture as much as possible, but when I find something, I latch onto it. Baldwin's wife claiming to be from Spain, which she absolutely isn't?
Yes, she claimed to be of Latino descent.
I think it's from Mallorca, right?
Was it? I don't remember that.
I think she's maybe European. Well, she's been apparently faking this accent for a goddamn decade. Oh. And you gotta love the gumption.
Did you see the clip where she was like, and that, how you say cucumber? And I was like, oh, God.
I didn't actually get to any, which is stupid. I half research everything. I didn't get to any clips of her actually speaking. And now that I think about it, I don't know how I missed that. But I was just me reading other people's rants at her was just enough to keep me satisfied and in bed with the dog sleeping next to me. I didn't get up until the dog looked at me like, I gotta piss, man. It's time to go. All right.
Yeah, we stayed up last night and binged all of season 3 of Cobra Kai.
Nice. I still have yet to see any of it. Is Danny a dickhead now?
Well, yes and no. Actually, I'm for the Front Row Network and NPR Illinois. One of the other hosts, Jay Hoffman, I'm coming on his show for a special. It is a special retrospective of the first and second season, and then we're gonna go episode by episode. Because we're both everyone else they're like, yeah, it's a good show, and Jay and I are like, no, this is the best show ever created. You have no idea. But we are, that's the whole point of the show, is that everyone's a little bit broken and everyone's a little bit of an asshole, but everyone kind of has a shitty backstory. Except, I mean, Daniel's just, he ends up being like this douchebag who every time you think he's like, oh, okay, oh no, he's starting to come around, he's going to be a little bit more like Mr. Miyagi, and then he ends up doing something else douchey, and you're like, well, fuck you, Daniel. Johnny Lawrence is the hero.
Didn't they dig up Marina and do like a Weekend at Bernie's episode, or was that just something that I fever dreamed?
That was, I think, the fever dream, but I'm totally down for it. Yeah. They just put Rob Schneider in yellowface and drug him around.
Damn it. Anytime you can dig up a deceased actor who's under 5'4", I say do it. I say damn the legal system, because who's going to come after you, really?
Well, it's an old law from like the late 1700s, early 1800s that says that anyone over 5'10", leave him in the ground. 5'5" to 5'10", there has to be a hearing of some variety.
It's more of a dealer's choice.
Yeah, but anyone under 5'4", it's a heyday. You can drag them out. They're barely people, is what they said.
Which begs the question, why? But, they took it to court, and I think this was right after the witch trials, so it all made perfect sense.
It was what the founding fathers wanted, and who are we to argue?
If you wear a big-ass wig and have buckles on your shoes, man, you wear stockings around and own other people, you're doing wacky new shit anyway. You might as well dig up tiny Asians who made you giggle on Happy Days.
Like I said, who's to argue with the founding fathers? That's in the fine print on the Constitution.
Not neat, especially not the ones who would shoot at each other for fun and profit.
Yes. I have a problem with you, sir. Well, would you like to shoot at each other? Absolutely.
All men are created equal. What about all these guys that came off the boat from Nigeria? What now?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that part. Let's move on.
Yeah, sorry. No.
Objection? Overruled or something. We haven't developed that part yet. All right.
That's how you go from Hilaria Baldwin to the slave trade in under 4 minutes. That's how you do that.
We have an update. I have an
update?
You sent me the update on a previous story that we did.
Oh, our buddy in Crazy Assistant.
Yes.
He broke his wife.
He did. He fucked her to death.
For those of you who might have missed this episode and somehow stumbled onto this one, I'm talking to you. I'm guessing your name is Phil. We did a whole thing about people who, Larry, you were really just tiptoeing around the idea that people who fall in love with objects are not batshit crazy. I'm okay with you fucking an object. It's the falling in love with it and putting it on Instagram that I'm like, you need oh, no.
Just talk to somebody. Anybody. Yeah. I don't care who it is.
But he's breaking molds because he's not like, an MIT red shirt. He's not like, he's not an extra from DS9. He's a big-ass, decent-looking Kazakhstani bodybuilder.
Yeah.
Who fell in love
with his sex robot
after he proposed to her.
According to this article, they excuse me, let me find it. Let's see. They met in a bar after another man made advances on Margot, the sex robot, and he was able to step in and protect her.
So he is doing backstory now.
Yeah, he's got to have a backstory and everything.
In it. It's almost like he's hired someone to write copy about just the fucking lunatic shit. Okay, so...
But yeah, she broke, and he had to send her off for repairs, and he was hoping to get her back, and I'm patiently waiting to see whether Margot will be repaired for the festive period, which would be, quote, a gift for both of them.
So, after he made his nuptials public, and the world went, boo! Uh-huh. So then he claimed that she had gotten some manner of, what was it? It was like some complex.
Yes, she had developed a complex and had to have plastic surgery,
Yeah,
which is the most appropriate term to use.
So he's had to send this bitch off to 2 different professionals to get things, I don't know, altered, replaced. It didn't say how she broke, just that she's broke.
Yeah, she broke. It didn't say how, and it didn't say where. My guess is somewhere in the hip region.
You get that much Eastern European meat pumping into your holes. Something's bound to snap eventually. I don't care if you bought the extended warranty, which if you're him, I'm guessing you did. You go all out.
Well, you have to. If you get a product like that, you've got to get the extended warranty.
So he met her in a bar, is the newest.
That is the backstory, yes.
Oh, God.
And, so he met her in a bar, protected her from some ruffian. I can only assume that it was an over exuberant grumpy bear from Care Bears.
I don't know. What do you... It's just some drunk douchebag just, like, attacking her with, like, one of those big juicing carrots. It's just, like, coming after her. But for some reason, he decided to take her down to the Kazakhstani version of TGI Fridays to do it. and the largest lunatic in the entirety of Eastern Europe decided, no, sir, not on my watch. Took off his cape, which I'm sure he wears out.
I'm sure, you have to.
And rescued...
a life-size Barbie doll.
Oh, yeah, anatomically correct pool toy.
It's just essentially it's just somebody took the idea of a foam pillow with a hole in it and put tits on it.
I got a garage and no job right now.
You know, I've been real bored during the pandemic. What'd you do? Well, I learned how to play the bass guitar. What'd you do? I learned how to bake bread. What'd you do? Sit down for a second. I've got to show you guys this.
I cut a hole in this foam pillow, stuck my dick in it, shoved an Alexa up its ass, and now when I'm fucking in, it tells me the weather.
Can I get one? Yes, absolutely. That'll be $1,200.
Yeah, no, those are the cheapy ones. I thought those are the GoBots.
Yeah, that's right. No, the expensive. I kept telling Nicole, I'm like, we've got to get one. We got to get a sex robot, and she's like, you know what? For comedic purposes, yes, we'll get it. How much is it? And I told her. She's like, go fuck yourself. We're not kidding.
How long did you live with a leaky roof in the kitchen, and you got money to kick around for a fuck robot?
Right. We're in a better place now.
Playing low rent Blade Runner 2021 the home game with your dick.
Look, I was just afraid until we got the roof fixed that it was going to leak on my sex robot and ruin her.
Just get one of those, like, inflatable bastards at an erector set and spend a half hour with one of those little motors. Just let your imagination fly. It's always more fun to play with your imagination. Yeah.
How did you get a burn on your dick? I would rather not say.
Which one? Which burn scar are we looking at, Doctor?
It's just all scar tissue down there. Yeah, I've made a lot of mistakes.
Which is still not as crazy as marrying a fucking rubber doll.
Yes, Doctor. I'm a scientist. What do you expect?
Have shame. Hide it. Just hide it, Yuri. Just hide it, Yuri.
Nope. No, it's not. I feel like we have to keep track of this. Because I want to know how much repairs were, and I want to know what broke on this bitch.
Nothing cheap, I'm guessing.
I mean,
and he hasn't had her all that long. What is the warranty on that?
You can't just send it down to the local Jiffy Lube and have him pop the hood.
Maybe you can in Kazakhstan. I don't know.
We do oil change and fuck robot repair. Oh, convenient.
I can work on a third-hand Mitsubishi. I can figure out something for your wife.
We are right next to Bed Bath Beyond, so while she in here getting fixed, you can buy something nice.
Over there, the Beyond is much different. It involves livestock and Margot.
Bed Bath and oh boy.
That bad that your money spent here, pal.
But I knew we had to get the update out of the way because
well, the bitch of this is that I wasn't like actually looking for updates on Yuri. It just fell into my lap when I was dicking around online one day.
Of course it did. That's how this shit works. That's how I found. After you sent that to me, I was just like looking at stories, and now I get a lot of real weird targeted ads on Facebook. I see that you've been looking at sex robots. You might also like this fleshlight shaped like Bert and Ernie.
One day when I was doing some online shopping, in the same day, this is back when I was smoking, I was trying to do the vape thing, like before Juul was even a company. I'm talking like years and years ago. But I bought a bunch of vaping supplies, and I was also buying stuff for my niece for her birthday. And so the next day, I'm just getting from Amazon, the algorithm is saying, hey, are you really into smoking marijuana and unicorns? Because we have all this shit for you. It's like, no. I don't want to smoke out of a My Little Pony. You really you jumped the gun on me here, Amazon. That's not what we're looking for.
Well, I don't know if you remember, but I used to make the bongs out of baby bottles.
Yeah, I think Zimmerman still has one.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I made him a new one a few years ago because his old one was starting to get pretty foul. So
he said it the same place Margot had to go to get repaired. But Jeff got a lot of miles out of that thing before he snapped it.
Yeah. I think though I could make if anyone's interested, I could for a nominal fee I could make you a small bong out of a My Little Pony.
You can make a bong out of anything if you want it, man.
I'm very good at making bongs. For someone that does not smoke a lot of pot and doesn't ingest a lot of the marijuana. I'm really a MacGyver of things to smoke out of, because
once you figure out the general physics of it, you can. Yeah, you're a guy with a good imagination and some power tools.
Exactly, a guy with good imagination and some power tools, and that's how sex robots were created.
Absolutely, yeah.
I got a free week. I got a free week and a bunt cake mold. Let's go for this.
I got an IQ of 200 and I took my cousin to prom. Let's party. Somebody tell me I can't get a grant for this.
So I do want to touch on a few things.
In front of me?
Yes, you're getting it for free. Everyone else has to pay. I say a few things. There's two things that I've already learned in 2021. Just 3 days into 2021, I have learned a couple of things. First, and this isn't even the topic. I just wanted to bring this up to you.
You just want to brag that you learned something?
Yes.
I had things very good. I'm proud of you.
I will tell you, the first thing I learned was from Nicole, and she said it's not racist, and I want to preface this. She said a sentence that sounds like the most racist thing you could probably say out loud in public and just have people go, the hell? But it's not racist, it's just history, which I know arguably history is pretty racist, but in this instance...
Yeah, pretty much across the board.
My wife just looks at me at dinner and she goes, you know how Koreans got so good at frying chicken? Because, I don't know, are you familiar with... Koreans are big into fried chicken. Instead of hot dogs and popcorn and shit at their baseball games, it's buckets of fried chicken. And Matt Bronger talks about it on Big Dumb Animal, his album Big Dumb Animal, where they just eat all the chicken and throw the bones down, and then somebody comes along.
Yeah, while they're drinking beers out of buckets and shit.
Yeah,
and like just handing it to 13-year-old girls or something.
Yeah, they're out fat Americanizing us, is what he said. So she's like, you know, Koreans love fried chicken. You know how they got so good at frying chicken? And I said, I don't. Are you, please enlighten me. She said, Koreans got so good at frying chicken because after the Korean War, many of our African American GIs just stayed there and taught them how to do it. And I was like, that is the most non-racist, racist sounding thing anyone's ever said.
Is that could very easily be?
Oh, it's 100% true.
Yeah.
It's true because a lot of those, considering the time, the Korean War, a lot of those guys, a lot of our African American GIs were just like, I'm not going back. They treat us pretty poorly over there. I'm going to stay here.
Like my time in history right now.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think we got it pretty good here in South Korea.
Yeah. I mean, that's not crazy. I mean, when large groups of people move to another place, they bring their food culture and it evolves over time, like language or any other art or anything does.
Absolutely. But again, the way she said it, I was just like, I had to stop and, like, I'm sorry, can you repeat that? I'm not sure if that's a racist sentence or not, but it's fascinating. Say it again.
Hold on, let me get out my 0 to Bill O'Reilly abacus. Flip some things back and forth. I just gotta run some numbers here and make sure that is a fact, that is not offensive. Very good. All right.
All right. Very good. Thank you. We're just at Ted Cruz level. We're not all the way to Bill O'Reilly yet, and we're definitely not down here at a 0 that, like, AOC. We're not AOC. We're like somewhere between. Is it racist? We need to discuss this and maybe have a sit down about it.
But are you drunk? How racist is this? It's not like licking David Dude's asshole racist, because that would just be crazy.
But the other thing, I found that fascinating. I thought it was really cool.
Where did she come across this? Or did she just like have an epiphany and look it up and go, shit, I'm right? About fried chicken and African GIs and the Korean conflict and everything.
Well, after she said it, I was so cross-eyed with I'm not sure how to handle this information, but keep talking. I forgot to ask her. She reads all the time. She's constantly looking stuff up. It could have been in one of her food magazines. God only knows.
Sure, that makes sense. Could have been.
Now, when she listens to this episode tomorrow, while we're working, she can stop, and I want her to stop and tell me where she learned this so I can present this information to you.
Very good.
Yeah. I'm not sure. But again, I had to preface it with, this sounds racist, but it isn't.
It like reeks along the lines of, what was that ridiculous theory that black people were better at sports because of like quick reflexes or something? It reeks of that.
An extra ligament in their calf muscle or something like that.
Something along those lines. It's like, that is... you want that to be science, but it's not.
Yeah, no, that's not science. That's just racism.
Yeah, no, this is anthropology through food, basically.
Yeah, which...
Yeah, makes sense.
Well, and, I said, though, if they did not... Because apparently there were a lot of soul food restaurants opened up. And I said, I swear to God, if one of them didn't rush to open up the first SEOL, is it Seoul, Korea?
Oh, yeah. Whoever was second on that list is kicking themselves in the balls.
Yeah.
But have you ever had that sticky red Korean fried chicken?
Oh, yes.
Oh, man.
Yeah, dude.
Now I need to know how to make that. Now I just decided that's my next thing.
Yep, that's the next thing I'm learning in 2021. That's what I'm doing.
I've been braising everything. I'm braising something right now because all you have to do is wait.
Yeah, I like braising because it's just like, well, okay, I'm gonna have a beer, I guess.
You brown the meat, you put in the stuff, you put it on low, you let it sit.
Yep,
perfect. And then it's tacos by 7 p.m.
So here's the other thing I learned, Zig.
Okay. You've learned 2 more things than I did. No, I did learn that Alec Baldwin marries people who are full of shit.
Yes. Well, we've seen his track record, and obviously...
Who else was he married to?
Kim Basinger.
Is she full of shit?
I'm guessing.
Good enough for me. Kim Basinger is officially full of shit. Fine. Conjecture, sir.
I don't know. Look at her. Anyway, let's move on.
I'm willing it to be so, prick.
I don't know. She's an actress. There you go. I lump her in with Gwyneth Paltrow, and I just assume they steam their vaginas together.
God, on air somewhere. Whatever that. I have my own issues with Gwyneth Paltrow these days, but that just tracks.
Yeah, the whole goop thing.
Yeah.
We should just do an episode on that one time.
You know what? That's what's in this is going to be us just Wikipedia goop facts back and forth at each other. And just mad rush to, yes, in fact, this bitch did sell a candle that smells like her twat. That's just like, I got there first. I got soul food in Korea, and you got the Gwyneth Paltrow's badge.
Whoever had that on their bingo card, congratulations.
Like middle-aged sex, it's a race to the finish.
Somebody's gonna get hurt.
And need a towel.
More for the tears than the juices.
Yeah.
Is it normal to cry that much? Yeah, it's because it's beautiful. Sure.
Normal, yes. Encouraged.
No. So this is terrible. This is a terrible thing that I learned.
Okay.
Bush beer. Bush beer. What's that?
It's actually racist.
Yes, and here's how. No, Bush beer has its own soap now.
What?
That's the blank-eyed, I can't process this information. That reaction you just had is exactly how I looked at Nicole when she's like, Korean people got so good at frying chicken. I'm sorry?
Because we have a lot of black expats after the Korean War. Also, the people who make liquid fizzy diarrhea also make soap now. Okay.
Yep, they make soap. I did not do a lot of looking into this. I just saw it and went, huh. And I kept thinking to myself, I want to give them a few tags, if I may.
Okay.
Bush beer soap. Some women like a man who smells like he gets mad when he forgets her birthday.
Okay.
Bush soap. For when you want to smell like you'll demand an abortion, but you ain't help paying for it.
I'm just picturing you at your writing desk with a pen, just on the tip of your tongue going, yes. Bush.
Bush soap. Do you want to smell how truck nuts look?
Is it like a gag gift? Like they just started doing it for like Christmas, and then like they just put out like a handful for the Bush fans.
I really put in a good D+ effort on that research. I saw it was an actual thing, made sure it was an actual thing, then made jokes about it, and then moved on. And that's it.
That's really all you need to do when you're discussing. And God, Bush beer is still a thing.
Yeah.
It's like what do you do when you're out of Stroh's? I don't know. I just hang yourself.
Hey, we're out of hams. Well, I hate to tell you, we're stuck with Bush Light. Oh boy.
And I say this as we're both drinking Miller High Life. Like, there's really a big difference. What's the difference between Bush and Miller High Life? Larry and I both have sleeves on today.
I almost had on my my denim shirt that says American Pride and had the sleeves pre-removed. Bought it at a truck stop for $3.
Spectacular. What is the difference between a High Life fan and a Bush fan? I don't know. The Bush fan thinks that slapping other people's children is possibly okay. It's like you might be able to get away with it.
And the High Life fan knows it's okay.
Just won't get out of his chair to get it done.
High Life. Fuck them kids.
High Life. Your children are terrible.
See, there's the difference. High Life. Fuck them kids. Bush Light. I'll fuck kids.
Oh my god. And it comes in a 30-pack.
It does. And so does whoever drinks it. Didn't. Hey. It's a... Yeah, well, you know what? it wasn't worth it, and I'm not going back to it.
Okay, fair.
Let that one die. Let that soldier gets to stay in the ditch. That's what. That was the one that got a lot of good men killed that day. Leave him be.
All of my ancestors who actually went to war.
Hey guys, you know what'd be funny? Bam! Ah! Yeah, he's fine.
Leave that Ziggler in the ditch.
That's the title of your memoir. Leave that Ziggler in the ditch.
You can leave me behind. I know it says we don't leave a man behind. Just leave me. I'm fine. It's fine.
It says, leave me a flask and a pack of cigarettes, and I'll just make do here.
I'll just sit here and leak out of this stuff.
So here's the topic for today. Here's the actual topic.
Hey, 30 minutes on the nose.
That's right. We're getting good. We're getting good at knowing when to do this.
30 minutes ago. I wonder if anybody's like, what the fuck? Because you read what it's about before you click on it.
Yeah. Here's the description. I can only assume that people who jump into like the middle just to start downloading episodes, like, oh, I'll just download episode 15, and they're just like, I think that's why we've got people going back from the beginning to just try to figure out what this bullshit's about.
We still don't know.
I say, joke's on you. We don't know either.
And it's been 6 months plus.
Oh, I forgot! Before we get into the topic, and this is why we call it Zig and Larry Ignore a Topic.
Correct.
I texted you the other day. It's been, well, I say the other day. Time has no meaning, and I drink a lot. So it could have been 6 hours ago. It could have been 6 weeks ago. I don't really remember. But when I texted you about Himalaya, which is a podcast app.
Oh, yeah, I'm not familiar with it. You said that we got top 10 something?
Yeah, we were in the list of top 10 Dom DeLuise podcasts. We mentioned Dom DeLuise once and talked about how great he was, and I still have it on the list of, I want to do a whole episode about Dom DeLuise.
Sure.
And how he was an underrated comedic actor.
Wait, meaning that there is a list of Dom DeLuise podcasts?
Yep.
Or we are top 10 best Dom DeLuise podcasts, according to Himalaya.
I love it.
My response is, we are one of 10 podcasts that have mentioned him possibly.
In the past 15 years.
And somebody was bored enough to find that out.
Yep. Yeah, but I think it's beautiful. If we're going to have any distinction at all, I think...
Hold on. I forget the episode. In that episode, in the description, does it say that we discussed Dom DeLuise at all?
Yes.
Oh, it does? Okay, so somebody just did a Google search.
Yes, they did. That's exactly what it is. And I plan on putting Dom DeLuise again in this, so that we get in the top 5 Dom DeLuise podcasts.
What else do I don't know anything else about Dom DeLuise. I know that he died from what Mama Cass would have if the ham sandwich didn't get her.
Oh.
He just died from being huge, right?
Yeah, it was his heart.
Yeah, it was just being very big.
Which is a shock, because, I mean, he seemed like he was in such good health.
Yeah, I mean, if nothing else, he taught me to love myself. And that's not just because I jerk off to Cannonball Run.
I have a t-shirt idea that I don't want to say on the air, but I'll tell you later.
Okay.
Because I don't want anyone... I don't want to say it, have someone listen, and then all of a sudden it pops up somewhere. Because then I'll have to murder a man. Or woman. I don't want to be sexist. A person.
No.
I will murder a person.
Or an African-American entrepreneur, South Korean chicken magnate.
You know what? If an African-American South Korean chicken magnate wants to use my t-shirt idea, by all means.
What other fucking categories does Himalaya have that's one of them?
I don't know. But I Googled us just to see, how we we pop up on stuff, but I saw this list and I was like, there's no way. And I look at it, I was like, that's the most ridiculous thing I have ever seen.
That seems about the press we deserve.
Yeah. That's what I said. This is the best. All right. Here's since in honor of the new year, talk about the history of New Year's resolutions.
Oh!
I actually, and by research I mean I looked up an article from the History Channel.
Okay. D plus effort.
Yeah, we promised that.
We promised that.
It started with the ancient Babylonians 4,000 years ago.
I don't buy it.
They weren't just... Here's the origin, is that they, at their New Year, which was actually in March, because for them, the New Year meant springtime, planting crops, growth. They would make promises to the gods. Stuff like, I'll pay off my debts, or I'll return my neighbor's rake, or whatever. If I borrowed this bowl from Mimnock down the way, I have to return it to Mimnock, so that I pleaseth the gods.
Next time I hit my wife with a stick, I promise she'll listen.
Things like that. It was Babylonia. Babylon?
Babylon. The Hanging Gardens of Babylonia.
Also, not a lot of people know that is where baloney comes from.
Babylonia. Nothing to do with Babylon.
Created by Oscarith Meyereth.
Sure. Which is almost impossible to spell without a U.
And an umlaut. So they would make these it wasn't really New Year's resolutions, just promises to the gods. And they did not want to fall out of favor with the gods because, the smiting. Yeah.
Smiting, yeah.
And then when fast forward to Roman times with Julius Caesar and his butt fuckery with the calendar and changing everything to January 1st,
that's power right there. When you can just change somebody's fucking year like that.
Right? I mean,
that is just power.
I would love to look at my supervisor and be like, New Year starts in July. What? Yeah. I'm not taking off any time in January. I celebrate the New Year on my birthday. How about that? So I'm going to take 2 days off around that time. That's not how this works.
Right now it's like year 85 or something like that. Like, no, we just restarted it. Because we're awesome. Yeah, no, you can't have any more rice.
Yeah, it was 46 BC is what, yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, we don't need to know that. So then we get to the early Christians. Let's see. It became a traditional occasion for thinking about one's past mistakes and resolving to do and be better in the future. So John Wesley, the founder of Methodism, created the Covenant Renewal Service held on New Year's Eve or New Year's Day. And so they would read from scriptures, blah, 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 and then essentially be like, I promise to be better in this new year. Dear God Almighty, please. So it's still kind of a promise to the gods. To the gods.
Is this kind of like the like Catholic indulgences? Like if you give them like $20 at the beginning of the new year, he'd be like, yeah, you brought some nice, IKEA meatballs to the potluck, so you're absolved.
Yeah. I think so. And so we have all these really, and honestly, it's a really nice tradition. Up to modern times where we go from, I want to be a better person to please the gods. And so that the good fortune will also come back on me and my community. I believe that this to now it's people holding phones up above their head to get a good angle, screaming "New Year, New Me," saying things like, "I'm just not going to eat chocolate as much this year." From I want to do please the gods so that we can grow good crops, and little Timmy won't die of cholera again. It's been 3 times that he's died. Somehow he keeps coming back.
Poor Tiny Tim, constantly dying of cholera throughout the years.
It's just a constant cycle to I'm going to eat more salad. Fuck you. And that's the other thing. People, as we know, you make a New Year's resolution. For the most part, no one keeps it.
No.
Which, as the article, and I gotta say, I was going to try to riff off this, and I'm like, this is so good. But the dismal record probably won't stop people from making resolutions anytime soon. After all, we've only had about 4,000 years of practice. Like, that's, you know what? History Channel, I can't do better than that. That was snark at its extreme. When
you say modern times, did you do any in your D+ research when the shift kind of happened from like to a more like self-centric kind of bullshit resolution? Because a lot, like you said, like holding the cell phone up, New Year, New Me, kind of like that kind of is the same thing. Instagram is pretty much our new god. Like, people worship this thing much like they did Babylonian gods back there. And Instagram doesn't give a shit about, it doesn't want your grain. It wants your pictures of you and your boyfriend in front of a fucking sunset that you almost died to get, so that you can get all your likes. And people can go, like that.
And if you don't have washboard abs, get the fuck out.
Right. And I do, but I keep them in the closet. I don't want to get dirty. What? They do start to stink after a while, but you just go out and get another one.
Well, yeah, you just you just take them out, put them out on the porch for a little while, spritz them with some Febreze, wipe them down, let the sunlight work. You don't want to leave it out too long because then they'll fade. And then you just put them right back up in the closet, and you go, there they are. I worked real hard to get these. And I did a lot of overtime. I did a lot of overtime to be able to buy those apps.
I went to this guy in Kazakhstan. He specializes in dolls, but
but he also he changed the oil in the Humvee that I rented, so it was nice.
But it is kind of the same thing. You're appeasing the gods of social media.
Yeah, I guess so.
And I mean, that's what I could easily see religion kind of spiraling that way in 3,000 years. I mean,
look,
plus time equals religion. There's no difference.
If you look now, though, we're with all the shutdowns, people have been doing church services by Zoom.
Yeah.
And so, what's the difference? It's just, and putting it on like Facebook and live streaming on different social media platforms. Oh, you just blew my mind, Ziegler.
Well, it wasn't 2,000 years ago that a very short Middle Eastern fucking carpenter had some really good ideas, and we turned it into what we're doing now, and all of a sudden he's blonde and everything. Who's to say in 3,000 years we're not like all putting on like a sports bra and Lululemons and praying to the god of Peloton to give us, excellent quads?
And who's to say I didn't do that on New Year's Day?
It's another one of those things where you have to give it money. Constantly money on a regular basis. Every religion. Weird hats, money on a regular basis. Those are the tenets of most major religions.
Weird hats, money every week. Yeah, you know what? And eventually you'll just stop showing up. You know what? You're absolutely right. Oh my god. I'm gonna need a minute. I need to lay down. For a second.
Absolutely. This is the kind of shit that I worry about every day. And I don't care about the fact that I'm going to die of a heart attack in my 50s. That doesn't bother me near as much as this shit.
The heart attack's an inevitability. This stuff, I got to think about this shit now while I got time. Speaking of that, weirdest shit happened to me.
All the time.
Yeah.
Tell me about it constantly.
And it's all my fault, usually. But this time, I don't think it is, but it might be. So, my phone Yeah, I don't know if you're like me. I'm sure you are. If you don't recognize the number, you don't answer the phone, right?
No.
I'm like, you can leave a voicemail.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I look over, phone's ringing. I'll check it in a minute. Voicemail actually pops up. I'm like, that's weird. Pick it up. It's my doctor's office.
Okay.
Saying, hey, we just want to get in touch with you. Give us a call back when you have a moment.
Oh, that's not ominous.
Right? I play it on speakerphone to Nicole. She looks at me and I'm like, I'm going to call them. She's like, yeah, because I thought maybe there was like a contact tracing thing. You know, maybe...
Could have been one of a million things.
Yeah. Or my other...
that sample that came back and we said was fine? Well, what happened was we lost it. We just found it. We ran it through the big whirring machine. You need to come in.
Yeah. Well, and that was... I don't go to the doctor unless I absolutely have to, which I know is not a good thing. But I was raised by men that you don't go to the doctor unless you've been shot or stabbed, and that's only in the case of you can't handle it yourself. Everything else, if you're pissing blood, it'll probably go away in a couple days. If you're puking blood, probably ought to talk to somebody. Other than that, you just muscle your way through it. And Nicole's been trying to talk me out of that, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So I call them back, and my thought, honestly, was there's a ton of Larry Smiths in the world. I wonder if they called me looking for another guy.
Also possible, sure.
And I'm like, I definitely don't want some other Larry Smith in this area sitting there waiting for his cancer results.
Right, yeah.
And they're trying to get a hold of me to tell me, you know, you got it. Which, okay.
Yeah.
So I call them, and they're like, oh, hi. Yeah, we just saw here, and we're getting a hold of some of our patients, that you just haven't been in for a while, and we'd just like to see if you'd like to schedule an appointment to come in and just get a physical done.
What is it with the people in your life? You get a couple extra bucks, your bank calls you saying, hey, you got some money now, let me tell you how to spend it. You sit around for a while, your doctor calls you, he's like, we were just curious if you'd be interested in coming in and spreading your cheeks for a stranger. Like, what the fuck?
Well, they're hardly a stranger, Zig. I know them very well.
Yeah.
I don't go in very often, but man, when I do, they go, holy shit, why did you wait so long? You could have died.
I'm out of my doctor's Christmas card list, but I am on the one for Valentine's Day, which has been a little bit of an issue in the past.
Happy Boxing Day. Okay. So, yeah, I was like, sure. Yeah, I guess. She's like, okay, well, who do you usually see? Do you see the doctor, or do you see the nurse practitioner? I was like, normally, when I call, it's because I have, you know, I've let something go too long, and usually it's, you know, Terry, the nurse practitioner, that's got the time. And they're like, okay, we'll just have you see Terry. And I was like, okay, that's fine. They're like, yeah, it's just we just want to get you in for a physical. And I was like, okay. And she gave me she goes, she's booked out till March, but doctor's booked out until April. And I was like, that's fine, I guess. I'll just come in on... She's like, okay, great. We'll call you with a reminder. And I hang up the phone, put everything in my calendar, and I look at Nicole, and I'm like, did you do this? Did you call my doctor's office and say, will you please call my husband and surprise him and have him panic make an appointment? She was like, no, I would not do that to you. I was like, bullshit. You absolutely would do it to me. She's like, okay, sure, but I didn't think of it, and I'm disappointed in myself.
That was Nicole's New Year's resolution, was to lie to you about your health care.
Yes. She's been like, you have to go in once a year at least to see your doctor. And I was like, but why? I feel fine enough.
Yeah. I went last year for the first time in, let's call it, it was a couple of presidents, easy. I don't know exactly how many. And now I go once a year, so this will be, I have to go again this month. And it's because I married a woman who respects me. That can't be it. No, likes me. Maybe likes me. I'll do likes me.
Yeah, mine keeps saying she wants me to be around for a while, which I find suspect. Because how can you trust anyone? Like, I get it. You and I, we're stuck with each other for eternity. This is just it. But I can't imagine anyone else liking us that much.
No, and I don't care how many drugs you pump into me. You can't. The men in my family are not long-lived. It's just a thing.
See, and that's my even with all the problems my grandpa's had, they still lived for a while. Like my grandma's went on longer than them, and I'm just like, roll the dice. Well, I tried. I told Nicole, I was like, I know what they're going to tell me. Stop eating so much red meat. Don't drink so much. Quit smoking. I was like, I can diagnose that myself. And she's like, Jesus Christ, just go to the doctor. Just go to the doctor. And
just because this asshole has a lab coat and a stethoscope doesn't mean he's going to guilt me into caring about myself.
Well, and I think I've talked about it on here. She had to go on blood pressure medication.
I've been on Lipitor for the last fucking year.
Here's the thing. She's, 7 years younger than us. Takes good care of herself. Really tries to care about herself. We had to get a blood pressure cuff for the house so that she could take her blood pressure, so they could figure out what her dosage needs to be.
Okay.
And at one point, she's like, "You need to check your blood pressure." And I was like, "All right." And I sit down. She puts the cuff on me. And it comes up, the perfect blood pressure is 120/80, I think. And mine was like 122/84. And she was like, and it was right after I'd gotten done working out. And, I might drink and smoke, but I still like to get my workouts in. I still try to keep the blood pumping. But she looked at it, she's like, "No, that can't be right. Put it on the other arm." Put it on the other arm, and it was like...
Put it on the good arm.
And then it was like 181/21 or something like that. She's like, "This is bullshit. This is bullshit. I'm on..."
181? You went up 60?
Oh, no, 121/81 or whatever it is.
Put it on your forehead. I don't know.
It was like closer to perfect, right? Okay. Like it was closer to what it's supposed to be. And it was only like a couple, beats higher or what. I look at medical records for my job. I should be able to explain this better. And if Nicole were in the house, I'd just have her come down and tell the story because it pissed her off so much. She was like, "How come you get to have that and I have plantar fasciitis?" And she's like, I have a hip that hurts and I have high blood pressure, and here you are, look at you, and all your blood and everything feels good on you. And I was like, not everything. Remember, all my problems are right up here in the noggin.
I was just saying, like, you're mentally unstable. You're gonna be fine, but it's gonna be like one of those. It's gonna be like you're gonna get kicked by a mule and get crushed or like a blood clot or an aneurysm. It's gonna be quick. You'll be like, "Oh shit, really? Oh, who had that in the pool?"
Was that me? I had donkey kick? Yeah, of course I did. Oh no, I had donkey punch. All right, I gotta go down.
What did you win? You have to pick him up and bury him. Son of a bitch.
Good fucking luck. That's why I just want to get as heavy as possible, so it's hard for the EMTs to move my big ass.
I quit smoking in a pandemic, and my wife looked at me today. I'm wearing one of my favorite shirts. She's like, "This shirt, I think it's shrinking." I'm like, "Yeah, that's it. That's absolutely it. It's not the fact that I drink beer every day and I consider pork a seasoning. No, it can't be that."
Yeah, I consider fried chicken a condiment.
Yeah, you put that on food.
Yeah, yeah, nice fried chicken patty. Oh my God, Glenn. So for the listeners, Glenn is my oldest man-child. He and I were talking about the best fat-ass food, and he was describing, I guess, Jack Black will get a Big Mac and a fillet of fish, shove the bread that's in between out and then put a fillet of fish in there for the bread, and then he adds something else, and he's like, it's the best fast food meal ever. And Glenn and I looked at each other and went, you want to go to McDonald's? You want to try this out? And Nicole's like, it's 11 o'clock at night. You're not getting McDonald's at 11 o'clock. I'm like, I am a grown man with my own money. I got money for Christmas. I can do what I want.
How was it?
We did not go.
You fucking cock tease.
I know. It's, we will. But I like to get the Baconator and get a one of the spicy from Wendy's, and then get one of the spicy fried chicken sandwiches from Wendy's, and just shove that all together and then shove it directly up my ass, because that's where it's going to be for a long time.
I can't tell you, and it's not because I give a fuck. I don't know the last time I had fast food.
Oh man, I don't remember the last time we did either, because when I was going on runs for shows, a lot of times it's,
drive-through, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, you got to do something.
5 minutes, you can get out of the car, just fucking, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't remember either.
And I mean, I think it's directly related to the fact that I live in the city, don't own a car, and it's a pandemic. Like, there's a Sonic around here, there's a couple of McDonald's, like there's places, there's a KFC, and I know that there's no shit. I know what I want to do with my life is go find some more fucking fast food. I gotta go back to the dentist tomorrow, and there's a Taco Bell right there, so that might be a thing.
Well, I know there was one night where we were none of us wanted to cook.
Nobody ever wants to eat.
None of us wanted to cook, and we were all like super wiped out. And so Nicole was just like, "Screw it!" And she went to Taco Bell and got like 3 or 4 of the party packs of tacos, and just brought it home and was like, "There, feed you jackals!" And we went, "Yay!" And I know Glenn and I because she got like some bean burritos because it came free with the whole thing. So Glenn and I took.
That seems like a punishment. It's like, just give us some of those liquid bean burritos from Taco Bell. Why? Because those people in their colons.
Well, we took the Doritos Locos, taco, put it in the bean burrito, and then folded that up and ate that because when you have if you would have been 19 at the time, when you have a 19-year-old that looks at you and goes, I can't wait to make bad decisions with you. Let's start here. And I go, that's my boy. Yay.
That says a lot for fast food when literally you could just interchange anything on any menu. Just smush that shit into this shit with your hands and put it in the middle. What are you getting rid of? A piece of bullshit bread. Now put it in the middle of this crap and shove that in your face hole. What do you think? Goddamn delightful. You fucking bet you it is. You un-American son of a bitch. That's what it was. It was White Castle. It was the last time. We had to take the dog to the vet, and we got a car, and because we'll get a car to do random stuff, like took the dog to the vet and had to get propane for my grill and shit like that. And I was like, I don't feel like cooking tonight. And she didn't realize that when I go to White Castle, it's an event, because I know that I'm going to be spending 2 to 4 hours on the toilet the next day, and I'm fine with it because I'm going to be having White Castle with beer for dinner. And it's just like, you just set your out of office vacation on your email and just say, the hell with it. You just do what you can.
Send an apology letter to the toilet and the sanitation crew.
I'm driving her and the fucking person on the other side of the machine nuts because I can't just get a number 4. I'm like, oh yeah, I want 1 slider, 1 cheeseburger slider, 2 bacon cheeseburger sliders, 1. I'm like getting 1 of everything of these tiny little fucking sandwiches. It's like, really? You want 1 fish on top of that? But good call. Fish, chicken rings, all that.
If I'm going to regret, I'm going to regret epically.
Oh god, yeah, the bottom of the bag when by the time we got home was you try to keep that away from a hungry ass chihuahua who's just been at the vet, by the way. You're just elbowing a dog, just boxing him out like goddamn Gretzky. But By the time we got it home, the bottom of the bag was so wet, I had to force my wife to hold it underneath with both hands. And she was wearing gloves, and the grease is just getting into it. I'm like, it's either that or you got to carry this goddamn propane tank. It's like, I don't know.
We were asked, coming back from the South, doing a run of shows, we were asked to stop and get Crystal Burger for some friends.
That's basically White Castle, right?
It is, but it's like if you cooked White Castle in a trailer park behind the meth still, and then took a bag of it and curb stomped it, and then served it up.
It's a lower rent White Castle?
Oh, yeah.
You've intrigued me, sweetheart.
We had to stop and buy trash bags because
of the crystal?
It smelled so bad.
Oh, God.
That there was a truck stop, because of course there was, right across the road. I said, nope, we're pulling in. We set the Crystal Burger on top of the car. I ran in and bought garbage bags. And we triple bagged it so that it would not smell up the car. Because I was like, we still have 4 hours left. I'm going to die.
Same could be said for all my sex in high school. I triple bagged it because I couldn't stand the smell.
A memoir. But dude, we got for New Year's Eve, what used to be American Harvest. Apparently, there is a tap dance class happening above my head in my house right now. But so what used to be American Harvest, they're now Luminary. They changed concepts, still all local source, but it's just and still the same quality.
You still haven't said it's a restaurant.
Yes.
Yeah, there we go.
I forgot that I was talking to other people, not just you, because I'm like, yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Well, I do, yeah.
But they were doing these to-go New Year's Eve dinners.
Yeah, meal kits, yeah.
And
we got the same thing.
Oh, we got we also added on the charcuterie.
Nice.
And so we did a bunch of cocktail and wine pairings here at the house. We got dressed up, even though Nicole looked amazing, and I'm wearing I was like, I'm doing it, but I'm not tucking in my shirt. And she was like, of course not. And so my shirt's untucked, sleeves rolled up, I've got a tie that's loose, and she's like, you look like every drug dealer in the 80s is what you look like. But we ate, we had the charcuterie, and then we had, it was like a 5-course dinner after that. We didn't finish eating it until after midnight. Well, that's when we had the dessert, because it was so like lobster mac and cheese, and this like cauliflower bisque, and ceviche, and it was just like more and more stuff. And there was like a braised beef short rib and vegetables, and it was ridiculous. And then I spent all of New Year's Day just sitting in the bathroom screaming, "Why?" every time. So or just looking at Nicole and being like, I don't want to go back in there. My asshole looks like ham salad. I don't want to do it again.
Well, who told you to look at it?
I had to make sure it was still in where it was supposed to be.
God damn it. The worst part is that I just made ham salad with the rest of the fucking Christmas ham. And I had it for lunch today, and it was good, and now I don't want to eat it anymore.
Well, you don't want a ham salad? No, I don't want to eat Larry's asshole.
Again.
That's for later. So, real quick, do you happen to have a New Year's resolution this year?
I never make them. I wish that it was a pithy comment or something cute for me to say, but if I decide to do something, I do it. Like, well, that's that's sometimes true. But like, when I decided to quit smoking, it wasn't because it was on a day. If I do something around a day, I'm never gonna own up to it, because I don't feel that kind of pressure for a new year. January 1st doesn't feel any different for me than April 7th.
Right.
Yeah.
That
being said, I do have one of these stupid little under-desk bicycles that I have my feet in right now, which I bought myself because I'm getting too goddamn fat, and I sit on my ass all day. At least before, I used to walk to work, you know what I mean? Like, from the train station, a good solid mile and a half a day, when you go there and back to the train station. Now, the only thing I do to burn calories is... There isn't even a joke. I don't burn calories. So, Ange, I was saying I really want one of these. And so for Christmas, I bought myself, actually. Let's say the government bought it for me. Let's say it's stimulus money. Because Daddy don't make $75K, so we still get a stimulus check. So I got this little bastard underneath thing. And I worked at it for one day while working, the one day I worked. And I looked down and I had been pedaling for an hour. It's not that bad.
Huh.
It's a hell of a lot easier than that divvy bike that you took me on in November that almost killed me. But, it's got the little different resistance thing. It's fine. And then I don't need the Peloton people motivating me like an asswipe. Like, I've seen, like, what it looks like when you're in a spin class. I can't handle that kind of nonsense. Right. But I get motivated by screaming at people through my computer at work. Yeah, fucking moron. That'll make me pedal this bitch up faster and get up to about 35 more kph on this motherfucker. It's on kph, not miles per hour. I'm not sure how I did that. I threw away the booklet. So we're going to have to figure out how to fix that.
Well, I think you should just attach that to a spit and put some meat on a barbecue out on your balcony, and as you pedal, you're turning that spit, and you've got a perfect lunch at by midday.
Look at this going right here.
Oh, yeah.
The best part of this is it's a recumbent.
You look like you're on a recumbent bike.
That's exactly what I'm doing. What about you? Did you resolve to do anything in 2021?
Well, that's the thing. Every year I do kind of especially since I've been doing stand-up, I'll look at where I was, kind of an end-of-year review, and be like, okay, where was I here? What have I done from here to here? And what needs to be my next step? Because it is, not for nothing, it's just a good delineation.
Sure.
Of, okay, here's a time to sit and strategize and go, okay, here's where I was, here's what I accomplished over the year, let's keep making the dots on that graph go up.
Sure, yeah.
I did look back at this year and realize that I drank more and wrote less.
Nothing counts this year. We've all agreed.
Yeah.
Nothing counts. I told every time Ange hit me over the back of the head with some manner of cooking implement, I'm like, don't worry, it's 2020, it doesn't count. You can't go to jail for this.
Yeah. It's fine. There are no rules.
Mm-mm.
But yeah, that's that was the thing I looked at, and I was like, oh, and of course, no live performances or very few live performances.
Yeah.
All of my goals kind of just had to go, you go over here, and then I just shifted into different goals. Hopefully with things getting better, we can go back to those old goals or set better goals. But yeah, I on my review, I was like, wow, you drank more and wrote less. You need to switch that around. You need to go back to writing more and drinking, or at least writing while you're drinking. Do something productive other than just sit in your chair staring at the blank wall. You want to watch TV? I really don't. I just want to stare at this wall and wallow in my feelings. What feeling is that? Bourbon.
Mm-hmm. I get it, man. That's one of those, like, some days, like, watching your favorite movie or even turning on the PlayStation seems like work anymore. It just seems like too much.
Yep.
It's like, and I was thinking, I sat down a few times just, like, write something. I don't even know what for, like, what medium it would be for. I'm like, what am I going to write about? I'm having the same experience everybody else is right now. It's not funny. There's no original take on it.
Yeah.
I haven't gone out and had something hysterical happen to me. It's like every 2 weeks I go to the grocery store and I look for something to write about. I'm like, something crazy is about to happen. What is it? I'm like, okay. Once, one of my neighbors, I saw him in Target. He just walked in there without a mask, and his dog. He's also French and an alcoholic, but like more than us. Like he's constantly in the same jumpsuit, and he was just walking around. He made it up to the second floor with his dog. He's just walking the goddamn thing. Like that's not a emotional support, which is also bullshit. But he's just got this like 40-pound mutt, just like walking around with it until somebody finally went, "Sir, you need a mask and less dog." What's he doing? And he's looking at DVDs, not even fucking Blu-ray. There's like the $2 bin of DVDs.
Was he asking for VHS? Excuse, pardon me. How you say a cucumber?
Microfilm. Yeah, him and Hilaria. Yeah, no, but he's just got his fucking dog, and this is a city Target, so that's on the second floor. He went up an escalator or an elevator with this dog. There's no stairs.
Well, somebody was looking at. Do we allow dogs in? I don't know. I have no. Check with the manager. He's on a call. Well, go wait for him. We need to know if this dog can be in here or not.
He's drunk in French, and he's dressed like a North Korean national. He's like weird olive drab onesie. I definitely am not getting paid enough to go talk to this man. I don't care how many times you placate me and call me a hero. I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, Glenn has always laughed because he works, at a Meijer store, so groceries and department store, yeah. And he's like, people come in and thank me, and he's like, for what? What are you thanking me for? I'm here because they pay me. If one of you goes down, I'm not doing anything about it. I'm going to step over your body so I can put the Tide on the shelf so that I can go take a break. I don't care.
Putting the fancy feast face front is more important to me than your daughter's life. I just want you to know this.
I must talk fancy feast. Hey, buddy, we need to button this up. What'd you learn today?
It's almost impossible to tell. My typical answer is as little as humanly possible.
Excellent.
I learned that you put 2 new facts in your head, and only one made me go, huh. And the other made me go, huh. That was funnier in my head. I don't know, man. I learned that we managed to talk about the actual topic for about 7 minutes out of the last hour plus, which I'm pretty excited for. And I learned that I have predicted the future, and religion in the future is still going to be a thing, but it's going to be based off of some asshole app that we are jerking off to these days. There's going to be multiple gods again. It's going to be polytheism. The gods are going to be Peloton and Instagram and fucking Pornhub. And those are going to be the triumvirates of what we just bow down to.
I mean, that doesn't sound terrible.
That's no worse than anything else we've come up with.
Let's see, what did I learn? Nothing. All right, love you, buddy.
Love you back.